Now, let's note, as we are thumbing between Zechariah and Revelation, let's notice that it's the same color of horses. In Revelation, you have a white horse, a red horse, a black horse, and a pale horse. In Zechariah 6, 1 through 8, you have red horses, black horses, white horses. They're pulling chariots now. This whole prophecy is couched in a little different way. And then the last chariot was pulled by grizzled and bay horses. Eddie, I'll never forget, I know nothing about this. I have no idea what it means. And I found these two passages when I was originally trying to figure all this out. I looked at that and said, look, red horses, white horses, black horses, and then I hit grizzled and bay. And they were pulling the same chariot, those two horses were. And yet in Revelation 6, verse 7 and 8, it only has a pale horse. My immediate question was, well, what's a grizzled horse? What's a bay horse? So I go off to the library to check out the horse encyclopedia. That's where I finally found my information. I didn't even know there was a horse that is actually described among people who know horses. It's actually described as a grizzled horse. But there is such a horse. And in the definition of the word or the description of a grizzled horse, it says a pale horse or a horse of a lackluster color. I looked at that. I thought, well, they use the word pale here. John used the word pale, describing the fourth horse in Revelation. And then I looked under bay, and it said a horse of a pale brown color.
So now you have 4 out of 4 colors.
Yes, because the adjective pale was used in defining the two horses that pulled the one chariot. And in my mind, I said, bingo. It's a match. And that's when I became convinced that these were, in fact, the exact same prophecies. And by merging the two information banks together, I would be able to decipher what all this meant. So I went back to Revelation chapter 6, and I want you to go with me there now because we're going to see exactly what these horses mean, what they represent. Now, I cheat sometimes when I'm studying. I take the easy things first. I actually learned this when I was in school because they always taught me in algebra, you take what you know and you use that to determine what you don't know. Well, that's my approach to Bible prophecy. I will always find it, okay, I know this and I know this. Let's see if I can use this information to figure out the rest. Well, that's what we're doing here on this study of the 4 horses today. So the easiest horse, and the first one I understood, was the red horse. Now, back at the red horse there in chapter number 6 of Revelation, it states there that the rider of the red horse had a great sword. Now, some people have immediately jumped to the conclusion that means war. But it does not say that here. It just simply tells us that the red horse rider had a great sword, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Okay, what could this mean? We know these symbolize spirits that are in the world. And somewhere along the line, it dawned on me that there is a major international spirit whose official color is red. And when God picked these colors, he did not pick them indiscriminately. He picked them with purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was designing this prophecy so that some would understand it and some would not, because that's what the Bible says he does when he is veiling his truth from some while revealing it to others. So he picked these colors on purpose. I realized there was an international spirit in our world that's very powerful. It's changed the course of the world, and it's actually known as the red power. Of course, by now, you know that I'm talking about communism or Marxism or socialism. These are all synonymous terms. So let's see if the spirit of communism fulfills all of the descriptions of the red horse rider. Read that verse one more time, if you would, Eddie, there.
Sure. The horse that was red, power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Okay, stop right there. Everywhere international communism goes, there's revolution, whether you want to talk about Vietnam, the Congo, Korea, China, Soviet Union. Everywhere communism goes, it takes peace from the earth. There's always revolution. So there's no doubt about it. That one fits. What's the next one?
And that they should kill one another.
Now that's what's interesting. Not only do communists kill their enemies, but they inevitably end up killing one another. There's all kinds of political purges. You've heard of the Cultural Revolution in China. It's been estimated 60 million people died in the Cultural Revolution. So that certainly fits, that they should kill one another. And finally,
it was given a great sword.
And the Bible says that the red horse rider was given a great sword. And in my mind, that speaks of military might. Now, if you put the military might of the ex-Soviet Union and China together, even right now, who would want to take on Russia and China at the same time? No one. It would be a terrible situation to find yourself in because they have great military might. Now, I started from zero, Eddie, and came to the conclusion that communism was the red horse of Revelation chapter 6.
I guess one really also has to ask the question, why would God pick certain colors?
So this is very close to what he did on the beast of Daniel 7.
Yeah.
He picked symbols that would have relevance at the time of the fulfillment. It's the same way with these horses. That's the reason he picked these particular colors.